Prop Talk is back. And we can never be whack. Prop Talk is back. Because it's the Prop Talk. Ooh, hear that raspiness? I feel like a professional. That was raspy. Getting raspy. Dude, I'm so excited to be here, man. Week 1. That's excitement. Prop Talk. It's a whole different level of excitement. We're here, man. We finally have actual week 1 props to talk about.
We did it. And we can even recap all of my winners already.
It was a good start for you. It was a good start.
Yeah, baby. So I hope you tuned into the Thursday video that we're going to be doing every single week, but killed it, baby. Killed it. Raz is in the house.
Let's go. Let's not waste any time. You had the winners. You're on a roll. Oh. I am not. So let's throw it to you. You kick it off. 2021. Walito's in the building. Brian's in the building. If you guys are joining us for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. We're gonna win you money. Tom, tell them how they're gonna win money first.
All right. So I guess the first one I'm going to go with is going to be the Eagles' first-round pick, Devonta Smith. 45.5 receiving yards, minus 115. That's up from 43.5. By the way, if you're betting on this game, almost all the player props went up 2 yards or 1 yard. It's actually pretty insane. I love a lot of stuff going on in this game. Calvin Ridley's going to go all Calvin Ridley here. He's 87.5. That's up from 85.5. Pitts is sitting there at 47.5. Eagles team always struggle against tight ends, but yeah, we're going to get to that. But Devonta Smith. All right. He's the bona fide number 1 there. He's, that's why they drafted him there. He's going to go against the Atlanta secondary that got torched last year. They got a little bit better in the second half, but they still got torched. That Falcons defense gave up over 300 yards a game through the air, which is absolutely insane. One of 2 teams to do that last year. They give up the most fantasy points to wide receivers per game last year. Oh, yeah, and they love to give up explosive plays. They gave up more passes over 20 yards than anybody in the league with 66. I think Jalen Hurts running RPOs is going to free up Devonta to break a long play or 2. I could see him beating this number with 1 catch. That being said, I expect him to receive enough volume where that 44.5 is kind of silly. His receptions is 3.5, which is also kind of silly. The Falcons did draft A.J. Terrell from Clemson in the first round. Tried to improve the secondary. I don't know if they improved it that much. I really don't think. I'm going to give Smith. Yeah, I'm going to give Smith or the Slim Reaper the advantage, and it's going to be his coming out party. So again, as I mentioned before, I expect Devonta to break a long play. His reception for his number for longest reception is 21.5. So I like that one as well. So yeah, baby, let's go. We're going rookies to start the season. Code.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I had before we talked. Since you're the Philly fan, I let you take that one. The only thing that I will add to that is both A.J. Terrell and Isaiah Oliver last year were both in the top 4 for the most amount of yards let up while in coverage. Both of those were in the top 4. They brought in Fabian Moreau from Washington, but I really don't think it matters. They're not going to shadow him either way. I love that one. I love the receptions. I think he's gonna smash that. So we are in lockstep there. You mentioned the rookies, and this is very out of character for me to be going out here and talking about pro Steeler talk as a Pittsburgh non-optimist. But Najee Harris.
I'm also a Philly non-optimist. So I mean, we're going. We're being positive. Overs, baby.
But I feel like you hate on the GMs and anyway. Yeah. Before we go down that path, Najee Harris over 58.5 rushing yards. I don't mind the rush and receiving total prop either, but I think the rushing, he will be able to get there just by volume. The Bills' rush defense isn't anything to worry about. It's nothing to avoid. This isn't the Tampa Bay front seven. They brought back a lot of the same pieces they had last year. one of the pieces that they were hoping to get back that would have helped out with their run defense, Star Ludalele. He is out for this week. He opted out last year, so it doesn't really matter in terms of their numbers I'm about to talk about. But he was supposed to come back. He came back in this year. Not going to be there. He's injured. He's out for week 1. The Bills were 17th in rush DVOA last year, had PFF's like 5th worst rush defense grade. So like I said, just based on volume alone, let's say that Najee gets 16 carries. As long as he averages like 3.7 yards per carry, he's going to hit this. I think he's going to the Steelers are going to come out. They're going to feature him early and often. I don't expect this game to get out of hand. I think it's only like a 6.5 point spread with the Steelers being slight dogs there. But I think they're going to feature him. They're going to pound him into the ground. Season long, I think he's looking at literally like 300 carries. But Najee Harris over 58.5 to start week 1.
Yeah, and I really like his rushing and receiving number at 84.5. I think you brought that up earlier. Because if the Bills come out there and they throw, 45, 50 times and Pittsburgh falls behind, then Najee's going to wind up getting some work through the air there. So I feel like that's also safe. So I like both those bets. So, yeah, fire it up, man. Fire it up.
What you got for numero deux?
Numero da. I'm going to go back to an old favorite from late last year, Brandon Ayuk. 50.5 receiving yards, minus 115. That is up from 49.5. I hammered him last year. In 6 out of his last 7 games, he got over 73 yards. I know he's got Debo and Kittle to contend with, but that number's so juicy, it's just silly. And they're going against a Detroit team that is literally going to have to bite some kneecaps off to slow these motherfuckers
Literally.
down. Let's be serious. I mean, Ayuk's going to have plenty of room to run after he catches the ball. Detroit was the worst team in the league in coverage last year, according to PFF. They didn't do much to improve that situation at all. If anything, they may have gotten worse. I see more of the same from Ayuk this year. He's healthy. He's not on that injury report anymore. And you know what? I'm just loving it. I'm loving Ayuk. 50.5 is a gift to start the season. A lot of these over-unders are so low, you're looking at them and you're like, this is a gift, Todd. I'm not giving the painting back. I'm keeping the painting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that is the thing we probably should have led with. If you're new to props, if you're new to betting at all, early on in the season, this is when you hammer everything. Like everything you're going to look at and be like, wait, really? Do it now because by week 4 or 5, it's going to start to get like a lot tighter. Right now, like the Tampa Bay game, like Brady's over-under was like 300 yards, but the highest one was, RIP, pour one out for Mike Evans. I think Evans was the highest, at least at one point anyway, and that was at like 58.5 or so.
Yeah. And so if you look at the over-unders for the games, and then you look at some of the player props, a lot of them don't match up. In that Thursday night video, I kind of mentioned that the over-under was 52 for the Tampa Bay game, and yet Amari Cooper was the highest receiver over-under with 64.5.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense. And
no.
I smashed a lot of those wide receivers and just said, okay, thanks for the money. That was easy. So that's kind of what we're doing. I'm picking all receivers this week because I feel like that's a little bit safer. We're in a passing league, and let's go. But yeah, pound the overs early on a lot of these numbers.
Yeah. Let's help out Alexis here real quick. Jamar Chase, Laviska, or Tyson Williams. Who do I start?
Jamar is playing
Minnesota,
and Chenault is playing. I'll go Chenault. Just because we're not sure about the target share in Cincinnati, and I feel like Chenault is going to wind up leading maybe week 1 or so for those wide receivers. They're playing Houston, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I'll just take the matchup there. Although I really think it's a coin flip. I don't know.
I'm going to lean Williams here just because, like you said, like with excuse me, with Laviska, the target share and the touches are kind of up in the air. Whereas
I stopped reading after.
I stopped reading after Ja.
So yeah, I'd probably go Williams too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
just because of touches. They came out and said that they're going to give Williams all the chance to be the guy. Obviously, week one, we don't have to worry about Bell. We don't have to worry about Freeman. We don't have to worry about Latavius Murray. It's going to be the Tyson Williams show. So I'm going to go Williams. We're both in the same boat there, Alexis. Best of luck to you. We will be live. Whoever is wondering about start-sit questions, we're going to be live at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning for to get you guys ready up to roster lock. So we'll be live from like 11 to 12:30 tomorrow. So is that your burner? Is that your burner?
Yeah, that's my burner, Robbie Jeffries.
And then for the rest of these over-unders you guys are throwing out, we will get to these right at the end of the show as well. Look at this. Look at the support that we get from the guy above, from the guy up top.
What a delight gift he is. What a delight.
What a gift.
Man, we might even invite him on one time.
I wouldn't go that far, but it is a gift. He is a delight.
He is.
Shout out for that $10 super sticker.
Do you have a second bet, El Cotorino?
I do. I am going to go with another running back, another rushing yard prop, someone who's going to make the boss very happy while he's here. Aaron Jones over 62.5 rushing yards going up against New Orleans. He went over this number 9 of 14 games last year. Week 3 against the Saints, he put up a very nice 69 yards on the ground.
Nice.
I very nice. I think Green Bay will be ahead in this game, so he's going the game script is going to lean in Aaron Jones' favor. Obviously, with Bakhtiari, he's still going to be out week 1. That isn't ideal, but Elton Jenkins is going to be sliding in place of him. He's been playing really well according to all accounts and reports. And then the New Orleans defense also lost some pieces with guys like Sheldon Richardson and Trey Hendrickson. So I think just due to game flow, obviously Jamal Williams being out, I think A.J. Dillon is worked in as well. But we know Aaron Jones could literally get half of this in one run with his ability to break tackles and how efficient he is. So sign me up for that over 62.5.
Yeah, his what is his combined rushing and receiving? I lost it. Is it 84.5?
84, either 84 or 86.5. I like that one too because I think he's more involved as a pass catcher with Jamal Williams out of the picture. But for whatever reason, I don't know why. Like I just feel like the rushing is like it is right there for the taking.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I like both those bets. So again, if you want to include the receiving, Walito coming at it. Oh, geez. Man, that's nice.
Showing up Tom. I mean, showing up right? Kev, rather.
Showing up Kev.
Showing him up.
You can't show me up.
No,
you can't show me up. Yeah, no, I like the rushing and receiving as well. So should we get into my last bet?
Hit it.
My El Juicerino.
Ooh. El Juicerino.
El Juicerino. We are going with DJ Moore over 61.5 receiving yards. That's up from 59.5. Every single one of the lines that or every single one of the bets I picked moved. So they're up a little bit, but it doesn't even matter. He looked great in the preseason and in training camp, already has a rapport with Sam Darnold. He had over 60 yards in 10 out of the 15 games he played last year. That's, good odds for me. I like that. Darnold has his revenge game to start, early against the Jets. He's going to want to sling a few deep, which works in DJ's favor as well. Averaged almost 19 yards a catch last year, which was insanity. The Jets were the 11th worst team against wide receivers last year. I think they have the worst corners in the league this year. So I think they, between them and Detroit, that's going to be a battle. If you notice the three teams the three props I picked, it's against 3 bad secondaries. So that's one common theme there. I think if you eliminate some variables and you go against teams that are likely to be bad in the secondary, if you're going to do a receiving prop, then that's a good play there. Yeah, no, they're just really bad against the pass. That's going to translate into a high target share for DJ Moore as well. I think he's going to take advantage of it. I think he's probably going to hit a big play as well. So to me, that is my slam dunk of the week.
Yeah, I hope we get a full on like Sam Darnold onslaught revenge game, just like a fuck you to the Jets.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
And that's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen. I feel like it's going to be like full on, like
that was,
you know,
that sounded very, very aggressive.
Angry.
Before angry. Before I jump into the last one, De La Nota Television wants to know Judy or let us know this. Is this Tyson or is this Tyrell Williams? The Ty Williams is.
Yeah, we can come back to that if you want to get your after he gives the answer, you give your last bet.
Yeah, let us know if this is Tyson or Tyrell, and then we'll get right back to that, and we'll get you squared away there. My last one, this is to make Walito happy. This is not, this just happens to be a great coincidence with Kev coming through with a $10 super sticker, Walito coming through with the $20 super sticker. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you'd be so kind. But my last one, DeAndre Swift, over 20.5 receiving yards. This is up from 19.5. That's where I got it. Obviously, I still like 20.5. Swift hit this in 8 of his 13 games last year. There were only 2 games he had in 2020 where he had fewer than 4 targets. This game also has the largest spread of the Sunday slate, with the Lions being 8.5-point dogs. That line has moved from 7.5, I believe. The Lions also just put Taylor Decker on IR, going up against that San Fran front 7. If they have to move Sewell over to the left side, he's obviously been taking reps at right tackle. So I just feel like with the game script, with the way that everything is setting up with the O-line versus their D-line, this is all setting up to be a heavily targeted DeAndre Swift game. I think any injury concern is now out the window. At the beginning of the week, they said that he's not going to have any restrictions and everything's fine. And then Swift had full practices all week. So DeAndre Swift over 20.5 receiving yards over on DK is like minus 115. So I'm locking that one in as well.
And I just called the Philadelphia Police Department, and they said that number is pretty legit. So it works out. They confirmed. Fucking idiots. Yeah, no, I like that one as well. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, so I've got a few more. I have a player prop parlay that I threw out to the chat that I absolutely love.
I don't understand the odds on this one. I really don't. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so so it is Calvin Ridley to go over 100 yards, Kyle Pitts to go over 50 yards, and the odds are plus 450,
475.
475. And then every game you can pick a 20% boost on DraftKings, and that gets it up to 570. The Eagles secondary is still questionable. Darius Slay got burned by elite wide receiver ones last year. Calvin Ridley fits that mold. The Eagles always seem to struggle against tight ends.
Sorry. Does Slay shadow? Not that it really matters, but
he wants to. I'm not sure if they're going to. I'm not. So Gannon is going to run primarily his own. So I'm not sure if they're going to let Slay go on an island or not. I think they might. He wants to. He did last year a little bit, but he got killed.
Yeah.
The Eagles also always seem to struggle against tight ends. They got Anthony Harris and they got Eric Wilson at linebacker. So we'll see how those two do against Kyle Pitts, but I don't really see that as a matchup that the Eagles are going to win there. The Falcons didn't draft him 4th overall not to have some design plays in for him. And I heart that bet. I heart it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm glad you
I put
found
some
that
money
one.
on that one. I think everybody I told was like, wait, what? Yes, money. Click. So get in on that. Oh, and Calvin Ridley played the Eagles in 2019 and had like 108 yards or something. So he good.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. I like that one as
good.
well. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that I was looking at that I'm going to be taking. I don't
I
think.
have a few. I have a few.
Oh,
Let me keep going.
well,
If you're
so throw them out.
okay, all right. On DraftKings, they have a wide receiver matchup section there, and AJ Brown to have more receiving yards than Tyler Lockett. They're both minus 115. So that Tennessee Cardinals game is juicy. I expect a lot of points. I think AJ is going to benefit from having Julio on the outside, so I'm taking that one. And I had a free bet on Bet MGM, so I got crazy. What can I say? So I put Devonta Smith over 3.5 receptions, Antonio Gibson over 19.5 receiving yards, Jonathan Taylor over 67.5 rushing yards, Jerry Jeudy over 50.5 receiving yards. And that's a $25 free bet that pays out $596.78. So let's go.
I'm not sure how I feel about that Denver game in general. I know we had someone throw out a Javante prop here in the chat that we'll get to. Bradbury's a good corner. I don't know. I just feel like that could be like just like one of those like gross games that has like 400 total yards between like both teams. I just don't know how I feel about that. A free bet, yeah, whatever.
I'm all over Jeudy this year, so the 50 number is I like it. So even if he does get coverage, I expect 4 catches or so, at least 4.5, 5 catches, and then I think he gets over there. So yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, we brought this. Did you have any other ones? Jonathan Taylor was the one that I was trying to think about. I do like that one at 67.5, and it's the same on DK as well. I like that number.
Yeah. Bet MGM. They have a star player prop section there. If you go, you have to go into the individual games on Bet MGM, which is somewhat annoying. It's kind of like FanDuel, so it's not as good of a setup as DraftKings where you can see all of them. But they have the player prop section. After you go in there, it's a star player prop section. So it'll have, for example, QBs are always involved. In the San Francisco game, you have a bunch of bets for both QBs, DeAndre Swift, Kittle, Mostert, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know why they picked him over Hawkinson. It doesn't make no sense, but it's pretty cool. They have just a ton. Like, will Kittle go over 60 yards? Will he go over 80 yards? Will he have 80 yards and somebody get 40 yards? It's pretty neat there. So if you don't have Bet MGM, that's a pretty good site. I've been using that a bit as well. But I haven't figured out how to do teasers on there, which is really weird.
I haven't figured that out on DK either. Like FanDuel is much simpler to figure out if you're doing teasers, and then the best part is
you hit parlay, and then there's a little block down there that says teasers, and you just click it.
Okay. Well, the nice thing about FanDuel is you can do an 18 parlay and just lose it on the first night, and that'll just really set the tone for your week, which is just fucking fantastic. Especially when you feel like really good about all of your bets as well. But let's rattle through some of these questions and some of these other props that the chat has thrown out. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. Juanito threw out one that we had already talked about. I like that one as well, because the same thing with his rushing, his receiving, he could take a screen or something for 20 plus yards and put you over the top on that. Right. So I like his rushing, I like his receiving alone, and I like his rushing and receiving. I think his receiving number is like 21 or 24 or something like that. It's relatively low as well. Like I said, with Jamal Williams out of the picture, I like that one. DeAndre Swift, total yards 68.5. I'd rather just go with the receiving. To be honest, I really don't know what to expect in terms of their rushing. So I think the receiving you are pretty safe with. Do you have any thoughts on the total there?
I think the receiving is a safer bet, especially if they get down. I know they're going to, Campbell's going to attempt to establish the run, so to speak, but I'm not sure how well they're going to be able to hold up there, especially like you said, they have Deckard out. And by the way, Sewell sliding over to left tackle is not the worst thing in the world. He's much more suited to play left tackle than he is right tackle. So they might actually get lucky on that one because he has not looked good early at right tackle.
AJ Brown over 67.5. I like that.
Yeah, I like it. I like that game to go over. That over-under in that game is 53, I believe, which is the highest or tied for the highest of the week. I said earlier I like A.J. Brown to beat Tyler Lockett as far as his receiving numbers, and I stand by that, sir.
I like A.J. Brown in DFS as well on DraftKings. Okay. I went through the salaries a little bit, and I like his price. Then Zach coming through, Julio over 69.5. Is his receiving actually higher than AJ Brown's?
I would not be surprised just because of the public, man. So they cater, especially early on, they cater these to like the public, and it's not like
okay. Walito's okay. Never mind. I'm seeing the next one. I'm seeing how the chat unfolded. 66, and then Zach said he's on underdog. And they all seem a few higher.
Yeah.
Just give me AJ.
I don't know. Yeah, give me AJ. There's variables with Julio there, and I don't like variables when I bet. So I'm gonna wait on Julio until I see some stuff.
You variable racist. What about Joe Mixon? 23.
Since he played
Minnesota.
I don't know.
This is the game that I'm just like I'm staying away from in general, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what Mixon's receiving prop is. I feel like I'd probably be more likely to take his receiving prop because Eric Kendrick is a fucking baller. He's really good. He's good in coverage. He's good in run defense. It seems like a low enough number, but this is a game I'm kind of just like putting my blinders on for, and I'm not really paying super close attention to when it comes to props. Anyway.
Yeah. So his total number rushing and receiving is 93.5. I thought that was going to be a little bit lower, but I'm gonna take the under. We don't talk about unders. We don't talk about unders. It's like Fight Club, but I'm not.
Rule number one: never take the under. But I'm probably gonna take the under on that.
Don't take it. Listen, this will be the one. If you bet an under on Joe Mixon will come through.
Well, then I might sacrifice my money for everybody else. Zach threw out Golladay over 3.5 receptions. Has to be over, right? I don't know.
I mean, it's he might have over 2 like hamstring pulls tomorrow, and he's only got 2 of them. Like 2.5 is the number. So I'm not touching anything.
It's not a great matchup going up against that Denver secondary either.
I'm not touching any prop for the Giants at all. There's a lot of injury question marks there. Mm-hmm. So no.
What about
so the problem is it seems like, oh man, that's so obvious. But it's that low for a reason with Golladay. He's been hurt. Yeah. So you don't know if he's gonna tweak it and then you're screwed.
Yeah, he's been hurt, not a great matchup. No matter what side he plays on. That Denver secondary is just full of studs. They had Surtain come in. They brought in help over the offseason as well. How do you feel about 51.5 receiving yards for Kamara?
It's a big number. I might actually like his rushing and receiving more. It's 110. So I don't know, man. That's close.
What's his rushing at? Do you have that?
Sure, I can get it. It's probably around 61.
What was that receiving number?
50.5 receiving. His rushing number is 54.5.
So Kamara hit that receiving number in 7 of 15 games. He started the season off really well.
Right.
Up until week 9.
Taysom.
There were only 2 games that he didn't hit that. And then he had
Right.
0, -2, 9. And then the rest of the year he didn't hit it even whenever Breeze came back. 0, -2, 9, 44, 40, and then 17.
I feel more comfortable with the total yards there. Or the rushing yardage, to tell you the truth. Because the rushing yard is 54.5. It's not like it's...
And Green Bay's rushing defense is nothing to write home about.
It's good, but it's not like, well, is it good? No, probably not. Whatever.
60 total yards for Melvin Gordon. I just
variables.
And then this one from Damani, Javonte over 36.5 rushing.
Variables.
And that
we don't know how they're going to start.
Yeah, and the Giants' rush defense is actually pretty solid as well. So
yeah, I mean,
this is another one of those games. This game, the Minnesota Bengals game, in terms of props, I'm just like, there's just too much. There's too much going on that I don't want to mess with it. That number feels low. Like, oh, Javonte, even if he only gets 9 carries, he should be able to hit that. But like we don't know. We just don't know. Like I said, it's not a great matchup either. Oh, and going back to TV's question here, this is Tyson. So would you rather have Judy, who you said you like, or Tyson Williams?
I think if you need upside, you're going to go Judy there. If you need like a safe 8 to 15 points, I think Ty Williams might be able to get that for you. I have no idea. Is he going to catch the ball? It's not like Lamar throws the ball to running backs anyway, but I think Ty's going to be, touchdown dependent on whether or not he's going to have a good day there. So I don't know.
I like Williams as well. Just the guaranteed touches.
Yeah.
Like it's not a great matchup for Judy either. So just give me Williams and the guaranteed touches, especially for week 1.
Yeah.
And here comes the Saints homer. Drake 1 on IR, Callaway over 3.5 receptions, and Troutman over 1.5, and Kamara over 5.5.
All right, so you have Callaway going against Jair Alexander.
I know Kev on the DFS pod, we talked about Callaway on our Wednesday show as well. Even if Jair doesn't shadow, like Kevin King is solid. And I feel like if he's going to be on the other side, like Callaway is the only weapon they have to worry about outside of Kamara.
Right.
So either he's going to get locked down by Alexander, or he might get bracketed or doubled on the other side if he goes there. Like I just do not like this matchup for him at all. Like again, that 3.5 feels like, oh, he can definitely get to 4. If the Saints are down, they're trailing, like he's going to get all the targets because who else is there? And then with Troutman, I don't know what to expect from him either.
Variables.
Variables. I'm just going to rename the show Variables. Variable Talk. I mean,
Kamara,
out of this,
5.5 receptions, okay.
Yeah, out of this one, Kamara would be the one that I would take.
Yeah. So, I'm with you.
Bender, we're with you. We are with you. There were a couple of matchups last year that we played tight ends against the Eagles, and I think there was only one time, and it was fucking George Kittle. I'll never forget this. I will never forget it, and I will never forgive him. We were like, all right, Kittle against the Eagles, smash it, throw your mortgage on it, put up your house, take out a loan, and dude, he didn't hit it. But I'm with you on Pitts, Bender. I like the over at 47.5. I like the player parlay that Tom talked about earlier in the show as well. So sign us up for Pitts. Gesicki over 3.5 receptions at +110, not minus. It's actually +110, and Fuller ain't there over.
Yeah, so I like Mike Gesicki. We're gonna have Waddle, Devonta Parker,
Albert Wilson, baby. Albert Wilson, baby. Gaskin.
Yeah, I think the 3.5. We don't know how the targets are going to be distributed there. So I think the 3.5 is. If you put a little bit of money on it, I think that's fine, especially because it's +110. So I'm not putting like more than like $20 on something like that, but I like it. I personally, I'm not sure what the Mike Gesicki is to score a touchdown. I would probably take that. Let's see, to score a receiving touchdown. Mike Gesicki, there he is. Over a half a touchdown is +265. So give me that.
You'd rather just take the higher odds?
Yeah, just give me the touchdowns.
Michael wants to know, would you trade Lamar and Juju for Stafford and Cup?
No.
What side do you want?
Lamar.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking the same thing. I don't think the gap between Lamar and Stafford is made up by Cup. I really like Cup this year, and I'm a Steeler hater, but I think I'd rather just keep Lamar and his upside.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going for the stack, but I'm sticking with Lamar. I think Lamar bounces back, and it's not like he was a scrub last year. So
yeah, samesies. Swift or Miles Sanders or Adam Thielen at the flex from Alexis Sazan.
I'm going to go Adam Thielen here. And I really like Miles Sanders. I think I'd put Swift third in that one because I think the receiving numbers for Swift is going to be fine. But I'm not sure about the rushing numbers. Miles Sanders, I feel like, is really close to Adam Thielen. Miles Sanders has looked awesome on the ground, but he's got Kadarius Toney lobster hands so far. So
the rock lobster himself.
Yeah. So they might, he might have a 65% snap share and then take him out for receiving. So I like Adam Thielen. I like Adam Thielen a lot this year. He's going against Cincinnati. They should be able to throw on Cincinnati. Who knows? Our team's adjusting and going to tilt towards Justin Jefferson. If so, Adam Thielen is going to be that beneficiary there. So give me Adam Thielen there. I think he's safe, and I think he's got a lot of upside.
I'm going to go Sanders.
It's fine
on that one.
And that's fine. But I think they're really close.
Yeah. Swift, he's going to have to do it through the air, and Sam Fran has a strong, like 20.5 receiving yards. I think is very doable. I think he should be looking at 6-7 targets. I would assume something around there. And even if he's only averaging 5 yards a catch, I mean, he should be able to get there, and he should be averaging more per catch than that. So, but to start him over Sanders, who has a better matchup, who we know is going to get more volume than Swift is, or Adam Thielen. I would also have Swift there, but I lean Sanders on that one.
There was another bet that I saw that I liked. I think I took it before. Who knows? I was waiting for you for so long. I just basically was like, take my money, DraftKings. Take it, BetMGM. I believe I took a bet where it was Miles Sanders and Mike Davis to go over 60 yards rushing a piece.
I like Davis this week too.
Yeah, so I think that's what I took. I can tell you if I actually took it or if I dreamed it. Dreamt with
a P. DREMPT.
Dreamt? Like I drank it? What is this?
It's
What's
prop talk,
happening?
baby. It's live. It is prop talk. We're making the folks money. While you look at that, I'm going to rattle this one off. Damani's also saying both Titan receivers should smash. Cards have no cornerbacks. I'm parlaying both Julio and AJB over 66.5 each.
I'm going both of them, huh?
Little same team, same game parlay there.
Yeah.
Damani, if you're still with us, let us know what the odds are on that. What you got the odds are for what you got the odds at for parlaying both of those. I like AJB, like I said, with Julio. I feel like this is one where he's either gonna smash and go, you know what I mean, like go for like 90, or he's gonna pull.
Welcome to Julioville.
Welcome to Mike Evans' village, and he goes for 30. Like I feel like it's gonna be one of the two.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it depending on what the odds are, because we're both on the same boat where we think it's gonna be back and forth, high total. If you want to go after one of the higher over-unders, I don't mind DeAndre Hopkins this week. I think he's like at 88.5. I don't mind hitting that for an over as well. So this game, I think, is one that might go overlooked for, for some just like general viewing, for DFS, for fantasy purposes. But I like this one.
It's funny because it's not like a Kansas City offense, but they're both really good offenses
with suspect defenses.
Yes, exactly. So
although Buda Baker is a motherfucking stud. The Buda Baker is so much fun to watch.
Rocket everywhere. I did not take that Mike Davis bet. I dreamt it. So I'm probably going to go back and take it.
What do you think about Javonte Williams over 11 receiving yards?
Variables. It's low enough where
would you rather take the Javonte receiving yards or the rushing yards? What did he say? Was it 36.5?
I'm not touching Javonte this week. I want to see how they use him.
Yeah.
And I love Javonte. So you know that.
This is one of those ones too where he could just get it on one catch.
Right. He can, absolutely. But is it all coach speak where it's like, yeah, we trust him, and then Melvin Gordon plays every single third down?
I feel like they said they trust him, but it wasn't like they were like, yeah, we're going to play him on all three downs. They said they'd be willing to throw him in any situation, but not necessarily that he's going to be the guy. Mm-hmm. This is how I would handle this one. I would put in bets on the ones that we've talked about, on the ones that you feel more comfortable about. And then if you have like a little bit of extra money laying around after that, then maybe throw a little bit on these Javonte ones, because we love Javonte as well. But there are other ones that are like, okay, like this one, there's no reason this one shouldn't hit. That are much stronger that I would take this week.
Okay, so Jalen Hurts over 40.5 rushing yards. What do you think? I don't know where you got that bet, because his over-under is 49.5 at all the sites I was looking at. So good on you.
Maybe he hit that zero accidentally.
Maybe
the 9 and the 0, they're close.
Could have been could have been 50.5 as well. That's close.
There, see,
but yeah, I mean you never know. He went over 47.5 rushing yards in 4 out of the 5 games that he started last year, and I don't think they're going to just make him a pocket passer all of a sudden. So I like that number.
And really the only one you have to worry about on that Falcons defense is Deion Jones.
Yeah.
Although do they still have, oh man, what is his name? I'm gonna butcher it. Are you excited? It's another linebacker who was filling in whenever Deion
I don't
Jones
know.
was out, and the
I
only
don't
reason why I know this is because I play in a couple IDP leagues. Fullest on.
I'm gonna move on
I'm
now and just
gonna.
pick a different question.
Okay, so he plays in the middle next to Deion Jones. So yes, both those guys, and then they have Dante Fowler on the edge. But outside of that, I mean, still have Grady Jarrett, who got paid that massive contract after the Super Bowl run.
Sucks.
Foyeside Olacon
Okay.
is the one I was thinking about.
All
yeah,
right.
I mean he could definitely get this.
Right.
Swift or Cooks?
I'll go Swift, I guess, but I like Brandon Cooks, but I mean Swift.
Yeah, give me Swift there as well. A space
Mm-hmm.
SH. Hey Tom, are you gonna smash the over on Tyreek or Kelsey this week?
I mean, it's not a week one if I don't bet Tyreek to go over his receiving yards, is it? I mean, let's be honest. So yeah, I'll put some money on Tyreek. I think his number's 81.5. I didn't put it in there yet, but I will. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to smash it per se, but it'll be in there.
So you like Tyreek better than Kelsey?
I don't know. Sure. Yes, I guess. I like them both. I mean, you could literally bet both of them and come out ahead 50% for the season. I've done that with Tyreek
half
before.
the time it works 90% of the time.
60% of the time it works every single time.
So Damani's saying minus 130 for AJB, minus 114 for Julio, 66 each. It should be a plus number for a parlay, right?
Yeah. Well, the minus 130 plus the minus 1, you're probably looking at like plus 160-ish. I'm guessing. Maybe a little lower.
I feel like you should be getting plus odds.
Yeah.
On that. Because you have to assume that probably Julio's around like that 115, 110 range, right?
Yeah, and make sure that you actually got the parlay and you didn't do two single bets.
Yeah. Yes.
Because
good call.
If
those seem right for like both separate.
Yeah, and if you did if they're in the same game,
should be plus odds.
They're not going to let you automatically parlay it unless you go into a same game like player prop parlay.
Yeah.
So check that.
Apparently, we did not account for the Canadian conversion on these props. So that's actually 40.5 meters for Jalen Hurts, not
what
yards.
What the fuck? What? What? We don't do metric. Brendan. Yo, dude, I played hockey, but like we do yards.
Hey, if you can get 40.5, I would absolutely take that, even in Canadian terms. Walito, talk to your boy.
Yeah.
We have two Canadians in here now.
Jesus.
Carlos Silva, should I drop Pollard for Ty Johnson?
Sure.
I would not.
I mean, I don't know.
I would not. Because I feel like if you're holding on to both those, for the case for either of them, but I feel like Pollard has standalone. Not that Ty Johnson doesn't, but I feel like Ty Johnson's ceiling is not going to be that high, even if he becomes the guy, right? Whereas like if Zeke goes down, Pollard could be a league winner. I don't feel that same way for Ty Johnson. Carlos, let us know. Is there anyone else you could drop for like if Pollard is the only guy you're thinking about dropping? Good for you that you don't have that last person on your roster that it's just like, oh well, they're a throwaway. Let us know if there are any other options you could do. I would not drop Pollard for Johnson.
You want to hear something funny?
Please, I love funny
Travis
things.
Kelce is plus 260 for 2 touchdowns.
That's so dumb. That's literally just stupid. Um,
2.
I'm going to pull up Lamar's rushing yards. Devonta Smith or Jarvis Landry in a half PPR.
Give me Devonta.
Ooh, went up against Cooper.
Oh, Devonta's got the much bigger upside there.
Yeah, go with excuse me, go with Devonta there. Jarvis Landry has the safer floor, but the much lower ceiling. So go take Devonta there.
Yeah.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
All right. So Walito, I just put some money on Tyreek. You happy? 81.5 yards.
Brendan, yes. Ridley over 85.5. If you have if you do not catch us at the beginning, and I don't know what the Canadian laws are, but we talked about a player parlay with Ridley and Pitts. But Ridley was at 100, Pitts was at 50. If you can take both of them the on DK, if you have DK available to you for a player parlay, it's at plus 475 without the odds boost. So that is one that we like. Or Ridley at 85.5, we like that one as well. I think Ridley averaged what was like 106 yards per game without Julio last year. Obviously, Pitts is in the fold, but I still think Ridley has that massive upside and a really nice floor as well.
Yeah. So one thing when you look at this is some people get intimidated by these big numbers. Like Diggs is at 90, Hopkins is at like 88, Ridley's
I like
at 85.
Hopkins.
Yeah. So they're that high for a reason. They're probably going to go over 100 yards. Most of the time, they can't. They're not going to put player props over 100 yards until like week 14 when they've just been going absolutely bonkers, and Vegas is losing money. So I like that Ridley over, especially against the Eagles, because their secondary is still, who knows. Now, their run defense might be better than expected, but I feel like Calvin Ridley is still going to eat no matter what.
Lamar's rushing yards 69.5. Nice. Thoughts?
Sure, I like that one. Against Vegas?
They did add pieces to that defense. Like their defensive line is pretty nasty. Solomon Thomas.
If they get, so here's the deal: if they're, if they get, if they flush him out of the pocket, then he gone. Because I feel like
they have solid linebackers as well. Littleton, Kwiatkowski. Didn't they signed KJ Wright late, right? Or aren't the Raiders the one?
Just did.
I mean, 70 yards is a lot. Like you're literally talking about that's higher than Aaron Jones. That's higher than Jonathan Taylor.
But they're also factoring in that there's no Gus Edwards, and I feel like he's going to pull the ball back a little bit more often than he may have.
Yeah.
So he might have a little bit more carries, especially in the first game. Again, variables. Variables.
Already got that one. CHB, fix my flex. That should be the name of a. That should be the name of like a segment we do. Fix my flex. Sutton, Miko, or A-Rob?
Why are you asking that?
I was with that until you just like threw in A-Rob.
Dropped Allen Robinson. in there.
I know the matchup for A-Rob isn't great, but you got to go A-Rob there. Mecole might see. He could see 2 targets. He could see
variables.
You know what I mean. He could see 2. He could see 6.
Yeah.
Sutton, like I said, if he gets matched up with Bradbury, you know what I mean. Like it's not a great matchup for him. I just put an A-Rob. This is one of those situations where like week 1. I'm not going to get cute with one of those other guys. Like I would be fine plugging in A-Rob, and if like Sutton and Mecole score higher, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and I don't bench A-Rob. I just don't.
I'm actually benching A-Rob in my 8-team home league, but we don't have to get into that.
18. I did. My Thursday night was even better than all the bets because I went against Mr. Jeffrey's advice and I benched Zeke and started Najee, so that worked out. And then I decided to go with Brady over Lamar.
I told you. I said Brady.
I agreed with it. It was just getting, you get down to it and you're like, oh man, Lamar, sexy. Oh, do I want the Thursday night game or the Monday night game? So I went Brady. So yeah, it worked out. Made a lot of money. Oh yeah,
you did well. You did well.
I did.
Would you drop AJ Dillon for Ferkser?
No.
Main tight end of Jonnu? No, don't do that.
Dalvin Cook.
I think you can do it. I think you can
Me
do
too.
it. Although the Bengals D line, but let's be honest, the Vikings are going to be ahead, and Tom Coughlin. Jeez, why did I say Tom Coughlin?
Jeez,
might as well be the
Mike
same
Zimmer?
person. Mike, they're the same person.
You
Mike
red-faced fucks. You and your high blood pressure.
You old
You're both
crotchety.
Old.
I can't believe I
balls
called
and
him
wrinkled
Tom.
skin and.
Is that the Pepperidge Farm guy? But he looks at Dalvin Cook's injury history. He's like, you know what? I don't care.
Yeah,
we're gonna run you into the ground.
Yes.
So I think you could, and then feel okay about it. But they did add DJ Reader and Ogunjobi, I think, to that D line, which is an improvement. It's not great, but it is an improvement. They obviously brought in Hendrickson because they sent. I can see his face, but I can't. But what's his name? They to the Jets, and he tore his Achilles. The other DN they had, they replaced with Hendrickson. Why can't I think of his name? Carl Lawson. They
just moved him. Yeah.
Yeah, they switched those guys out. So I think you could. I think you can take Cook over 95.5.
Yeah.
I do like Pittman over 41.5.
Yeah, I like this one. So Pittman should be the number one target there. Carson Wentz likes to lock in on his number one target. What are you going to say?
That I also like Paris Campbell, and his is at 32.5, if I'm remembering correctly.
All right. We're just going to talk about Michael Pittman. I don't want to talk about Paris Campbell yet. I'm not there. But I think Carson Wentz is going to lock on to Michael Pittman.
Yeah. It should be a segment. We might be on to something.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go. Was this in response? Okay. Should I drop Pollard for Ty Johnson? RBs are Lindsey, Harris, Pollard, and is that Javonte or Jamal?
Probably Javonte.
I would rather drop Lindsey for Ty Johnson than drop Pollard.
Yeah, because game script there is going to be rough.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be
it's a timeshare too. So
yeah, I just think it's going to be gross. So Carlos, I would drop Lindsey if you want to pick up Ty Johnson. I do think, as opposed to Pollard, that Ty Johnson's ceiling is higher than Philip Lindsey's.
Yes, agree.
All right, last one here. James Jordan,
Oof.
Devonta Smith, or Corey Davis in the flex full PPR.
I'm gonna
Curious
let you
to
go
get.
first.
God.
Yep, the first one. I'm gonna let you do it.
I
You
was
were
going to
about to
throw
say,
this.
curious to see what you say.
Yeah, of
You wanted
course.
me to
I'm the
sell
host.
you.
I'm the host. That's what I get to do. I get to throw these ones to you and then say like,
Yeah. Fine.
can I
Fine.
hedge here? Can I hedge here?
Hedge away.
Can I live the hedge
Cody
life?
Hedger.
Ceiling, like the guy we who had the question earlier. If you need the ceiling, I'm still going to Devonta Smith here. If you need the floor, if you just need points, I would go Corey Davis. Actually, you know what? Give me Devonta Smith. Give me Devonta Smith. No matter what. No hedge. Take the hedge off the table.
No
Devonta
hedge.
Smith. No hedge.
I like it. So I think
Devonta Smith.
Corey Davis, he's good for probably like 14 points, 7 receptions for, 70 yards or so like that. But I think you're going to get a big play out of Devonta. So that's where I'm going.
I thought we were about to split that.
No.
Foster Broad. So that's definitely a Philly fan, right?
Broad. Foster Broad?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why?
I don't know. That just seems like a Philly thing.
Well,
Anyway, Visca.
Broad Street.
Maybe that's why I was thinking about
Maybe
it.
it's like maybe she's like an old time broad and she's like 96 years old or something like that, and she's like a foster child.
I was gonna say, maybe somebody who is wide but loves Foster beer.
Okay, so she's an
Australian for beer.
All right, I eat fucking scorpions and whatnot.
LaVisca or Henderson, Week 1, English Premier League, rugby.
I'll go with the bloody running back. That's awesome.
Okay.
That's your actual name?
I was like, fuck, man, we were making fun of this. And then the Philly fan came in at the end. That's fantastic. That is
good for you. So are you Australian? Where are you here from?
You were born in America.
You made America.
I'm gonna go
Henderson. I'm gonna go the running back.
I'm gonna go Visca. So Kev, you're still in the chat. Split the difference. Foster, I seems like you're new to the channel. I've never seen your name in the comments here, so just so you know, Kevin Steele is the godfather of TFA. I am calling upon him to split the difference here. Outside of Philly, I went to one of my buddies was working for Comcast downtown a couple years back.
Right.
I went and stayed there. I like Philly. We went to I'm waiting on Kev to answer this, to split the difference here between Visca or Henderson for Week 1. We went to, what is it, Old City?
Yeah.
Right, we went to Old City and we went to that bar, or like that tavern where it's like they dress up in like the 1770s, like they dress up how they would, and then they have beer recipes from like Washington and Franklin, like the shit they used to brew themselves. Super sick.
Nice.
There it is.
What's it called? Yeah, no, I'm actually right outside of Philly myself, so I'm in South Jersey though. But yeah, man, Foster Broad. All right. He's going Visca. I think it's a coin flip between those two.
I like the upside of Visca.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure what to do with that Rams Chicago game.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Long term, Darnold or Winston?
I'm gonna go Jameis, man. I think he is going to come back with a vengeance. And I like Sam Darnold. I have invested a lot in him in like dynasty leagues and whatnot, but I think Jameis he's gonna come back and he's gonna He's gonna eat them W's, son.
Walito, appreciate you. No, hopefully, we're
You
winning
will.
money, and you
Don't
will
worry.
see me at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. So anyone else who has any last minute decisions, we will be live at 11 a.m. tomorrow on this here very channel. And then just to throw my thoughts in here, I think Winston has the higher upside later in the season. But if you're looking at holding one of these guys, don't hold either. But I think you can get away with Sam Darnold. He has a really nice schedule to begin the season. It worries me with Winston only having Callaway and Kamara. I think once Michael Thomas is back, I'm going to like Winston over Darnold, obviously. But until then,
Fair enough.
don't worry about holding two quarterbacks. But Darnold would be the guy that I would hold up until that point.
Yeah.
Excuse
Anthony's
me.
got one more question. Miles Sanders or Damian Harris. Flex half PPR. I'm smashing Sanders on that one.
Yeah, give me Sanders. Okay. Is there a third quarterback, or is it just those two? Would also be my question.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Go fuck yourselves, San Diego.
That is offensive. You don't talk about my city like that. That's it. The Chargers are moving.
It means whale's vagina. CHB, what you got? Do you have a third one, or did you punt?
There we go.
Oh my god. Well, good for you holding on and holding on for dear life until you could. So here's the question: would you hold both of these quarterbacks? Because assuming this league is as like quarterback hungry as it is, you could probably drop Jameis for the time being, right? Drop Jameis for the time being.
Yeah, but is it a 12 team? I don't know. Like I'd have to know who the free agents are.
True.
Like if
well, and I guess too if he ended up with Darnold and Jameis, I'm assuming it's probably a 12. Because you could probably hold on for dear life. You could hold on for dear life in a 10 or 8 team and end up with two better quarterbacks than Darnold and Jameis. So it probably is a 12.
Yeah, if you have the bearded wonder in Fitz out there, then
14 team.
All right. So yeah. I would need to know who the replacements possibly are because
you probably don't have Trey Lance. Yeah. You probably don't have Justin Fields. If you have either of those guys available, drop Jameis for Lance or Fields, but you probably don't if people are taking two quarterbacks in a 14-team league as well. Yeah, you probably have to hold both. If you waited that long, yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably, like you said, I'm trying to think of who might be available. Carson Wentz, Jimmy G. All right, pick up Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Yes. Pick up Wentz.
Do that.
Who would you drop? Would you drop Jameis or Darnold?
I'd probably drop Jameis because of the early season schedule, like you said.
Yango. Rate my team PPR 1 QB 1 flex. Kyler Hill, Ridley, Keenan, AB, Elijah, Jacoby, Kittle, Edmonds, Henderson, Mostert, Singletary, Williams, Justin Jackson. Your RBs are poo-poo doo-doo butter. but you're obviously just went full zero RB here.
You did, and your wide receivers are
wide
just
receivers.
Nasty.
Yeah, that's nasty. Would you, after week 1, would you think about trading AB with the game he just had to go get an RB1?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's gonna give up an RB1,
I feel like after that game, they're
So
going to.
yeah, well, here's the deal though. So you can give up Keenan Allen and probably get more back for AB, and then AB steps into that wide receiver 3 spot for you.
Yeah, with
And
Hill and Ridley. Yeah.
right, and how much do you really lose because you have Elijah Moore there, who's good depth, and he could see whatever. Jacoby Myers is there, so I feel like Keenan Allen's probably going to be my trade bait there to get that running back. I like Javonte to come on a little bit later. Other than that, there's just so many question marks. Like every one of them. Like you're probably starting Mostert early on, but
I love the
who
quarterback. I love the tight end. Love your receivers.
Yeah.
You need help at RB. So if let's say Keenan has like a decent game tomorrow. And obviously AB just went off. Yeah. Let's say Keenan has like a decent game. AB had the great game. Would you still throw Keenan as your trade bait?
Absolutely.
Okay. So no matter, you still want to hold on to AB.
Well, I think Keenan brings back more, which is why I would trade Keenan, because I don't know what is Keenan going to average, a point or two more than AB probably, because AB looked really good.
He looks like AB. He looks
right.
he looks like Pittsburgh AB. I was watching that and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's Ben throwing him the ball 4 years ago.
Right. So I would, whoever you can get more for, that's who I would move out of those two. Tyreek and Ridley, I'm not moving. And then just see what you can get for Keenan and AB.
Yeah. Roberto coming in. Good to see some familiar faces in here. So I talked about Najee Harris over 58.5 rushing yards, Aaron Jones over 62.5 rushing yards, and then DeAndre Swift over 20.5 receiving yards.
Yeah,
Thomas.
I went with DJ Moore over 61.5 receiving yards, Brandon Ayuk over 50.5 receiving yards, Devonta Smith over 45.5 receiving yards. I also had a player parlay on DraftKings, which is Calvin Ridley over 100 yards and Kyle Pitts over 50 yards. That is at plus 475 or plus 570 if you use the boost. Definitely take that one. I love that one. A few other ones I liked. I like Najee rushing and receiving. I like A.J. Brown to have more receiving yards than Tyler Lockett. That's in wide receiver matchups. And then I had a crazy parlay I threw together, which was Devonta Smith over 3.5 receptions, Antonio Gibson over 19.5 receiving yards, Jonathan Taylor over 67.5 rushing yards, DJ Moore over 60.5 receiving yards, and Jerry Jeudy over 50.5 receiving yards. So that pays out almost $600 for free. I have a lot of bets this week because I'm excited. Okay, good.
Let's go. So like Zeke, after the game that Zeke had, you might be able to send away like Jacoby Myers for Zeke. With the way that a lot of people were reacting, I think Zeke could be a very good target to go after because you might not even have to give up a Keenan or an AB in order to get Zeke. Like there were people talking about that like Zeke is done. So you could. Here's what I would do.
You might be able to get Zeke plus.
Yeah, absolutely. Here would be my suggestion: is to just say, especially if you know the people that you're in the league with. If you guys have a message board, a group chat, whatever it is, I would send out a message and say, "Hey, looking to get a top end running back. What do you guys want from my team?" And throw it out that way. Jump in the Discord. Let us know what kind of trade offers you got. Leave a comment on one of the YouTube videos, whatever you want to do. We are here to help you out. But yeah, I think Zeke is actually a great target, especially after week 1. I think it's getting completely blown out of proportion about his performance or lack thereof. So I think that is a good call.
that defense is going to be the
Just
absolute best that they see all season.
filthy.
And to tell you the truth, Zeke looked better than he did last year.
There was
He looked a lot more
there was a
agile.
play. I can't remember where it was. I can't remember when it was, but there was a play where Zeke made a cut, and I literally just like thought to myself, I was like, "Oh, that was Pollard." I was like, "Oh shit, that was Zeke."
Yeah, right.
There was a cut he made. There was a play that went to the right side where he cut in between the guard and the tackle, and I was like, "Oh, that burst was Pollard,"
Mm-hmm.
but it was Zeke.
No, he's looking spry. It's just that defense was stupid good. Thank you.
Just absolutely nasty. Their linebackers, the D line, the depth they have there too. Courtesy, appreciate you rocking with us and jumping into this one. Hit us with a sub, hit us with a like. We appreciate all of you guys. The Discord is free. There is a description in the link underneath the video description if you guys want to jump in. Ronnie has a question: Henderson or Monty in a full PPR?
Monty all day, son.
Agree. That is a clean sweep. Kev chimed in as well. Overcome wants to know Elijah or Corey Davis in the flex.
I'm going to go Corey Davis at least early on in the season.
Yeah, I have to agree. I love Elijah Moore. Obviously, Jamison Crowder still being on the COVID list helps out Elijah Moore in this case, but I think the safe play is with Davis. If you're behind after like Thursday night, you went up against say you're down 40 points or whatever, I think Elijah Moore has the higher upside, but I'm leaning Corey Davis. Leaning Corey Davis in this. Yeah. And Kevin coming through with the extra hashtag analysis on this. They absolutely abandoned the run, and that was a smart thing to do. So do not fade Zeke. If you have Zeke, hold on tight. If you can go out and get him cheap, go ahead and do that as well. And then Kev answered this. I'm assuming we're gonna have the same answer, but this 49ers defense.
Agree. And Walito, you must have been getting a snack, some Canadian poutine or something like that. I don't know what you were getting.
Canadian bacon.
Yeah,
Canadian bacon.
Yeah, Canadian bacon. Some pork roll. Who knows? But I said Tyreek over 81.5. Yeah, baby. I made the bet on the show, so we good.
Who would you sit between Edmonds, Henderson, and Mostert?
Henderson, just because I feel like Edmonds, that game's going to be high scoring, and he's going to be the lead, at least to start, before he gets hurt. And Mostert can pop off a big play at any time, so that's probably where I would go. But I mean, it's close for all three of them. That's why you're asking us the question.
I'm going to sit Edmonds here, just because like Henderson, we know is going to get all the majority of the touches at least week one until Sony Michel is up to speed with the offense. Mostert just has a great matchup, and I feel like. I wish we would have heard more good news with Edmonds early in the season, like throughout the training camp, just in terms of like, okay, he's the guy. James Conner is going to mix in maybe some short yardage stuff, but we didn't hear that at all. And now it seems like they're going to run a true committee. So it would not surprise me if. It would not surprise me at all if James Conner ended up having more touches week one. So I would just go with the safety there. I do like Edmonds' matchup better than Henderson's, but I think just based off of touches week one, I want Henderson and then matchup for Mostert week one. So I would sit Edmonds.
Sure.
Let's get the courtesy. Any faith in Tyson? Yeah. He's obviously depends on who you're starting him over, because chances are you picked him up super late in the process unless you had a really late draft. But the report came out today that they're going to give him the first chance. They're basically going to give him every chance to fail. And like they've really liked what he's done all off season, so this at least should be a 60-40 kind of split with Williams at worst. But week one, he's going to get all the touches that he can handle, I think. So I think as long as you don't have better options, which hopefully you do, I think you're absolutely fine starting Williams.
Yeah, agree.
I'm not picking up any of the other Chargers running backs at this point. Eckler seems like he's going to play. He got into at least a limited practice, maybe even a full practice on Friday. Yeah. I think he's going to play. I'm not picking up any of the Washington backs, and at this point, maybe like a Ty Johnson available, but I'm not dropping Eckler for Ty Johnson.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, I think Overcome is in the Discord, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, drop a comment on one of the YouTube videos. Jump in the Discord, especially after week one, and let us know what your options are looking like. George, definitely do not trade Mike Evans right now because you're going to get people offering you Tyrell Williams for him. So
yeah, you got to wait for a game.
I was very upset about the Mike Evans bet that I made after Thursday, but then I thought, if you had a crystal ball and you told me, listen,
I have one.
Tom Brady is going to attempt 50 passes. He's going to throw for almost 400 yards. There is a 0.0% chance that I don't take that Evans bet. And honestly, I'm probably going to throw more on it than what I did. Yeah. So just hold steady. There's no way that Gronk goes off for 80 yards each week. There's no way that Evans gets – and there were, 3 passes, I think, that were deflected toward Mike Evans' way. And especially that one that would have hit my over toward the end of the game. So that hold steady. If you do want to trade Mike Evans, wait until he pops off. Do not do it now when everybody's going to be down on him. Hold on to Evans, wait until he hits, and then if you want to just get rid of him, wait until he has one of his 6 for 102 games, because he's going to have a game fantasy-wise the way that AB did at some point, and it's going to end up happening soon, because now defenses are going to be like, oh, okay, we don't really have to worry about Evans. We're going to shift to Godwin and AB, and that's going to leave Evans one-on-one. He's going to absolutely destroy. So patience. Should I trade Harris and Golladay for Zeke?
Yeah.
Yes, I would. Anthony, I would absolutely do that. Let's go. Appreciate that. If you're joining us for the first time, do the same thing as Yango did. Hit us with that subscribe. Hit us with a like. Picked up Williams after Gus went down. Oh my God. Leave him on the bench. Favor Raheem Mostert and Aaron Jones with Tyreek in the flex.
Who did?
Okay.
I'm looking like you got Aaron Jones already.
Cup and A-Rob, a wide receiver. So, okay, all right. So probably took Tyreek in the first, A-Rob in the third, Cup in the fourth.
Yeah. All right.
Your RB1 you got in the second. Okay.
So Cup's really Cup's your flex. Let's be honest.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Quit screwing around.
So would you sit Mostert for Williams?
No. especially with the upside that you have with your wide receivers. I think you have upside and safety, so I'm going to go upside with Mostert. Why not?
Yeah, Kersey, I think you're fine either way.
Yeah,
I think you can either play the upside card or you can play the safety card. If you want to go upside, go Mostert. He could easily go for 150 and 2. Or if you want to go safety, go Williams because you know he's going to get the touches.
Mm-hmm.
If Garoppolo stays strong and they're winning games, then no. I don't. I think Fields has the better chance out of these rookie quarterbacks with the upside we're waiting for. I think Fields has a better chance of seeing the field early over Trey Lance. If Garoppolo stays strong and they're winning, he's not going to get pulled.
Right, but I mean, I think you can roster Lance for the first 4 weeks, see how Jimmy G looks, and then if it doesn't look like he's gonna, fade away, then you can drop him.
Sermon, Tyson, or Javante for start one. It's
Tyson.
Williams.
Yep.
Ken going off script here. PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X?
I have 2 kids under 4 years old, so I'm going to go with Netflix and a nap.
Funny story. Speaking of kids,
PlayStation. I was always a PlayStation guy. Go ahead.
I was always an Xbox guy. But speaking of kids and game consoles, what was the one before the Series X? 360 was Xbox One. Xbox
One.
Yeah. I had the Xbox One. My child literally pissed on my Xbox One and ruined it. I was literally just sitting there on my phone one day, and I heard water. I was like, "Where's that water coming from?" And I looked over. I literally looked over, and he pissed on the Xbox. So I have not had an Xbox for.
Did you get the red ring of death?
The red ring of death was my eyes being so pissed off that my kid just pissed on my Xbox and ruined it. So
that's fantastic.
Yes, Kevin, it was on the ground. I'm not high royalty, and I wasn't thinking, oh, I should lift this up and elevate it so my child doesn't piss on the floor. So yes, it was on the ground, Kevin.
Fantastic, love it.
But yes, I was an Xbox guy.
Well, Lito coming in with the wrist exercise.
Well, we know why he's I will say that the sports game for the original Wii was a lot of fun, like the bowling and the tennis.
Oh yeah,
that was fun.
The bowling and the tennis that was fun.
Yeah. Mm.
I'm keeping DJ Moore. It's close, but I'm keeping DJ. Jets defense is shit. Stop it, Cody.
Yeah, but who's going to be the Bears' slot corner? And I trust Stafford more than I trust Darnold.
DJ Moore, Jets.
Man. Give me Cup just because of the concentrated targets. George.
Fine, moving on. Whatever.
George, you're fine either way. Lock both those guys in. You're fine no matter which way you go. Why are we high on Wentz? It's a combination of being higher on Wentz and also lower on Darnold and Jameis. Yeah, Jameis, you're looking at a guy who's whose top target is going to be Marquez fucking Callaway, who no one gave a shit about 3 months ago. He was a nice sleeper pick at end of your drafts. Go ahead, pick him up. But no one gave a shit about Marquez Callaway. And now that's all he has for the first 6-7 weeks of the season. Darnold has the weapons, but he's also Sam Darnold. So like we're really sure not where we're gonna get. Like Wentz, as much as he's been hated on, he's a solid quarterback. So I think out of those two, there's much less variance with Wentz than there is versus the other two. So it's not so much being high on Wentz, it's being higher on him in relation to the other quarterbacks you have.
I think him and Darnold have about the same upside, but Wentz is he's got a higher floor.
A lot safer.
Yeah.
KD, Cooks, Callaway, Gaskin, or Davis at flex. Give me Gaskin.
Yeah. I'm trying to talk myself into Corey Davis, but I'm going Gaskin.
He would be picked 2. It would be Gaskin, Davis, Cooks, and Callaway for me if I were ranking them. Looking to target a higher ranking RB with Davis, Javonte, and or Sermon. Do you think it's fair Javonte taking over in Denver this season?
I think Javonte does take over in Denver, but it might not be till like week 6, 7.
I don't think Davis is the upside play.
No.
I think it would be Javonte because I think Sermon's going to split all year unless Mostert gets hurt, which he obviously could. But I would go Javonte there.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that, Overcome. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate all you guys.
Good
wings or nachos?
Wings. Ranch dressing, by the way, no blue cheese.
I'm a ranch guy as well, but
nachos.
I think it also depends on what you have going on. Like if you don't have kids, wings is the way to go. If you have children, I think you have to go nachos because you never know when you might need your hands.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go nachos, you want a nice layer of nachos on a pan, and then you want a base of cheese, like shredded cheese, and then you want to put some meat, ground beef, venison, whatever, on top, chicken, and then you put some salsa on, and then some more cheese. You throw it in the oven for like 350, 8-10 minutes, and then you get that shit. You get after it. You're not just dipping a nacho in a thing of cheese. That's how you have nachos.
I'm going straight up Step Brothers nachos and just microwaving my shit. Jamar Chase over under 48.5 receiving yards. I'm just not touching it.
I mean, variables.
No peas.
I like the number, but there's too many things that are going to come into play there. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait to see how that distribution works out.
I would much rather take the guy we've already talked about, the other rookie. I'd much rather take Devonta Smith over 44.5.
Yeah, man.
Bud Light or Coors Light? I'm a Bud Light guy when it comes to light beers.
I mean, I'll go Miller Light.
No. I'd rather go Keystone Light. Do you have Keystone Light, Tom? Do you know what Keystone Light is?
Well, I graduated college a long time ago, so no, I don't have Keystone Light. It's available at liquor stores. However, I'm a grown-up.
I'd rather have a Miller Light. No, it's IPA. It's IPA season.
I like to roll with the summer shandy. Like I go to liquor stores around like mid-August, and I pick up enough to like get me through the winter. I'm like a squirrel.
Wait, what do you have to get through the winter?
Summer shandy, Line and Kugel summer shandy. So I'm like a squirrel. Like I go around, I can collect a bunch of nuts, keep them in the basement.
My wife likes that. So.
Oh, that's great.
Fuck. Trade or
keep?
Wine. Who do you want to hear? Zeke or Mixon?
That's like they're next to each other in my rankings. I will give Zeke the edge, in spite of his first week. That was, the end of the world. But it's slight because I like them both a lot.
Yeah, I would. There's no reason why you have to do this straight up after week one, unless Mixon
Yeah.
has an equally shitty game. You should be able to get potentially Mixon plus or Zeke plus, right? Am I thinking about that right?
Words, math. Don't worry about it.
Yes. I want Zeke. I want Zeke.
Yeah, I'll keep him.
I'll keep Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
Brennan coming through. Appreciate the kind words. Kev, you guys can both kick rocks.
Okay,
Kev,
cinnamon.
also for my wife's
Kevin's
birthday, shout out, happy birthday to the wife. She had a pumpkin beer with the cinnamon around the rim tray.
Kevin Cinnamon Steel. Cinnamon, heel cinnamon, heel cinnamon.
What is that from Step Brothers as well?
Yes, it is. I'm
Can I come
actually
over later
surprised
and
that.
touch your face?
Yeah,
Who,
sure.
who loses this trade?
Hold on, wait. I'm surprised Kev hasn't come out with any El Sequabo props.
Al Sequabo, always a fan favorite. Who loses this trade? Kelsey and Monty for Harris, Logan, Thomas, and Gibson.
Oh man, give me Najee and Antonio. And I like Kelsey a lot, but yeah, give me Najee and Antonio and Logan Thomas.
Yeah,
Logan's
that's really
sneaky, but
that's really hard to pass up on Najee and Gibson. That's man. I wouldn't necessarily say there's. I prefer the Najee side.
Mm-hmm.
Peas, yes, much rather Devonta Smith than than Jamar Chase. Abraham joining us at the end. Berto, Ertz or Gasecki? Tom, these are both your guys. What you got?
Oh man, so I'm gonna go Zach Ertz here because I feel like he's gonna wind up getting the volume. He actually looked like Zach Ertz in the offseason. In the preseason, he doesn't have an issue with Howie Roseman anymore. Yes, he does. But he's gonna come out and play. So I'll go with Ertz just because Jalen Hurts, Hurts is gonna kind of like lean on him a little bit. I think they're gonna run a lot of 12 personnel as opposed to 3 wide receivers. So yeah, I'll go Ertz there. Whereas Gesicki, you're just not sure. Although this is the week to start Gesicki for the upside because Fuller's not in there. I'm still going to go Ertz because I think he's a little safer.
Abraham coming through and flexing with that starting lineup, but then follows it up with Logan or Goddard.
Washington plays
Chargers.
You will go Logan Thomas because Ertz is going to cut a lot of Goddard's share out.
Who do you got with the Cardinals or Titans?
The over. That's what I got.
Are you still taking it at 54 or open at 51?
It's at 54. It was at 53 when I looked earlier. Jesus.
I'm looking at Fantasy Labs. It says open at 51, up to 54, 62% of the bets on the over.
Yeah, I'll still take the over. I think
3-point spread currently.
I want to say the Titans are going to win, but I can really see the Cardinals, so I'm just not going to pick it.
With the 3-point spread, who do you like? Cardinals getting 3.
I'll take the points.
There you have it. Keeping out as wide receivers are McLaurin, Woods, Cup, and more. The advice here, George, is join us every week. We go live on Wednesday. Obviously, tonight with we're trying to keep this shorter and just on props for Saturday night. But Wednesday night at 10 Eastern, Sunday morning at 11, and we can help you out with that. Don't worry about like who should be my guys going forward. It should always be matchup based. You have a really nice group of wide receivers there, and you're going to need help each week because that is Evans, McLaurin, Woods, Cup, Moore. They're all wide receiver ones and twos going forward. So
yeah, I'm trading two of those guys and trying to get Ridley or Adams or whoever I can.
You should be able to
consolidate.
Thoughts on DJ Moore? We both like him this week. Sermon, Tony Jones, Mike Williams, AJ Dillon, Mooney, or Elijah Moore in standard.
What's a standard? It's like the missionary position, I guess.
Sermon.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Sermon there. In a standard, probably has the best chance of seeing the end zone. So that's it. Week 1 props in the bag. 2-hour live stream. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, join the Discord. We'll answer all your questions there. We will also be live in 11 hours. We'll be live again. So if you have any other questions that we did not get to, like I said, join the Discord. Join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. We will answer your questions then. Until the next time, let's make some money. Let's win the week. See you next week.